Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, let's talk about Trip, Allie, Chanel, and Johnny. It took me a second because I got a lot of names to remember from a lot of different soap operas. But the way this whole thing came about was very odd. Um, After Trip finished talking to Greg about marriage and stuff like that, and hearing what he was going through with his divorce and, meeting his boyfriend and, with his daughter and everything like that, um, the way this whole thing came about was kind of odd. So Trip winds up texting Allie, Allie's with Chanel and, Chanel's like, what are you going to say? And she doesn't know, what to say. She doesn't know, if she's going to say yes or no. She's kind of caught off guard. And now she has to sit there and go to Trip and try to act like she's surprised about, his announcement. So she goes and meets him. He proposes and she says yes. And I'm going to be honest, like, I, mm, I just sat there and looked at this whole thing. I'm like, you lying POS. Like, you want to literally sit there and accept a proposal from a man that you, not that long ago, went behind his back and slept with somebody who you swore up and down was just friends and you were over that and you chose him. The fact that she looked in his eyes when he was sitting there giving that, tearful, heartfelt proposal just pissed me off. It really did. It pissed me off. So anyway, they're sitting there celebrating, and after Johnny gets rejected by Gabby for a little mattress tag or whatever, and he's all like, "Oh well," at first he's like, "Well, I don't like being rejected." So what is a horny devil going to sit there and do? I'm like, what? So he, runs into Chanel. He's like, let's go grab coffee, let's talk, let's hang out. Just because we're divorced doesn't mean we can't have fun. And I'm like, what? Is is all that supposed to work on her? And she's like, yo, listen, I want no parts of you. I want to talk to you. Let's just leave it up to lawyers, which is the smart thing to do, and is why your mother is paying for said top lawyers. Johnny's like, no, let's not do that. Let's just sit there. We're adults. We can sit there and talk it out. And she actually agrees. And I'm like, what? This guy literally just broke your heart in front of your mother, a bunch of people, and you agreed to talk to him, and you decide to do it without the lawyers because why? Like, none of that made any sense to me. It really didn't. But and this is where we get to plot versus logic. Because logically, that made zero sense. But she agrees to meet him. She agrees to sit there and talk to him, someplace like secluded. Because, that made sense. Um, they want to bumping into each other, all four of them. And, Allie's like, Johnny, Trip, proposed to me. And Chanel had to sit there and try to fake like, oh, I'm so happy for you, like she didn't already know. And then Allie turns around and looks at Johnny like, so are you gonna say something? Johnny's like, well, what do you want me to say? She's like, I don't know. Can't you like muster up a little bit of happiness for your twin sister? He's like, well, I'm just not there wondering, did you tell him? Trip was like, what? Tell me what? And you can see the look on Allie's face. At first she's like kind of shocked. Then she's worried because she knows what's going to come out of his mouth next. And I'm gonna be honest. Diablo actually did him a favor. Diablo did Trip a favor. Okay. he pretty much was like, yeah, did you know that he was like, oh, that you slept with my wife. And the look on Allie's face was priceless. I, okay, maybe I'm taking a little bit too much. You know what? No, no, no. Screw that. I was gonna sit there and say maybe I'm taking a little bit too much joy out of watching, her squirm and be exposed. But I mean, one, I didn't exactly really like that character anyway. Um, so there's that. But two, and that's just the most important one. Well, actually, technically, it should be number one. Um, you went behind this guy's back and you lied. You kissed her more than once when you were with him, and then you wind up sleeping with her, and you you accepted a proposal from this amazing, great guy. You accepted that knowing what you did behind his back. And I'm so glad that she got exposed instead of waiting it out and when is he gonna sit there and tell her, when is she gonna sit there and find out? No, screw it. Let's just get right to the point. Let's get right into it. And I love that they did not waste time. Now after Gabby, kind of rejects, John Diablo's offer to go upstairs and have mattress tag. I guess she comes back home and Jake is there. Now Jake was at Maggie's. Jake was like, "Yo, did you give me a text?" And Maggie was like, "No, I didn't. I lost my phone a couple of days ago." Um, so Jake heads back to the house, talks to Gabby, and was like, "Yo, Maggie didn't text me." It's like, "What are you talking about?" So it's like, "Yeah, I know, but she didn't text me." That kind of has something to do with Johnny. So you start talking, and Gabby finds out that it's not looking good for Rafe. Um, the witness or the guy who accused Rafe of accused Rafe of accused Rafe of being a dirty cop, testified. And on top of that, she finds out that Melinda, um, Nicole was quote unquote, tampering with, witness tampering. So it's not looking good. It is really not looking good. And so she's looking, she's reading it online. She's like, "Yo, this is bad." And Jacob's like, "Yeah, no, it's really bad." And he starts trying to kiss on her neck, and I'm like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Yo, listen, I'm not in the mood for that." And Jake is like, "You've been acting strange all day. Like you've been acting off. You've been giving me attitude and just these negative vibes." And on one hand, I'm glad that he did recognize that because she's been, doing that a lot. And the fact that he just didn't call her out and didn't really sit there and say anything was like, bro, you not seeing this? So on one hand, I'm glad that he recognized it and he called her out on it. Like, yo, what's going on? What's the problem? On the other hand, bro, she just found out that her brother, the trial is going south. It's bad. Um, and she finds out bad news about her brother, and you sit there trying to like hook up with her. You trying to have sex with her? Like, what are you doing? How on what planet is she actually supposed to be like? Oh yeah, I know my brother's going to jail, but we can still, yada yada yada. Like, no. So of course she's gonna have that reaction. Any normal person would have that reaction. But he's like, what's going on? Is everything good? Are we good? And she's like, yeah, everything's good. It's just my brother. I gotta go and check on him. Like you had to go and check on him the last time. Oh wait, Johnny stopped you the last time. So she leaves to try to get down there to the police station, and apparently she couldn't find anyone to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Jake looked like he was about to sit there and take those chocolates and just throw them. against the wall, but then he looked at it like, yeah, it's kind of a waste of some good chocolate. So he starts eating it, just still fuming. Chloe and Brady, gonna be honest, I really didn't care about their scenes. In the beginning, Brady gives Chloe a flower, and she's all like, "Oh, well, this isn't like." I was like, maybe you're just being nice. Like, Jesus, relax, lady. Like, what's your issue? He was like, "Oh, I got it from this kid that was trying to raise money or whatever." Um, and then he started, reminiscing about the good old days when they were married and stuff like that, and it looked like they're about to kiss. And like, yeah, I guess it's gonna be a thing, whatever. But then Greg gets there and he's talking about, his new boyfriend, how he's going to be funny and great. And, he just can't wait for them, to meet his new boyfriend. Earlier before Greg got there, Chloe was very conflicted because she wants to support her dad, but she wants to support her mom. And she feels like if she supports her dad, then she's betraying her mom. Um, I thought that part was interesting. She kind of got it's like no matter what side or what emotion she has, in a lot of ways, she's going to feel guilty. She goes in on her dad, she's going to feel guilty. And if she's happy or, actually likes her dad's boyfriend, she's going to feel guilty. So either way, she just really can't win. But, Greg gets there and, at first Greg is like, Brady, what are you doing here? More or less. But Chloe's like, he's there for support in case she says something out of line or something like that. Because apparently Chloe's known for just blurting out things or just being rude, which I haven't seen yet. But Chloe, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw her, I was like, man, she is the bee's knees. She is the cat's pajamas are the cat's meow. I know it's cheesy as hell, but the part was I was like, yo, this woman's on point. And then I got to know her, watching her, and I was like, listen, I'm not a fan of Philip. I'm not a fan of cheating in general, but I mean, let's be honest. I started looking at her personality. It was like, let's see what Mimi got to offer. Or maybe Mimi was the better choice. I don't agree with how he went about it, but seeing Chloe, I can, or learning about her personality, I can understand that. But to be fair, Mimi seems like she brings out Philip's worst impulses. So anyway, Greg is there. He's talking, his boyfriend up or whatever, and he's looking at the time. He's like, "Yo, what's going on?" And he knows that he's a little bit late. So he's talking, and they look over because it's like, "Yo," Chloe's like, "No, he's only a few minutes late or whatever. It's no big deal." I don't know about some people, but it's kind of a big deal. Um, First impressions and everything. But um, they turn around and you notice that it's Leo Stark. Um, and so the I guess the funny music that they usually play whenever there's something funny apparently on days, and Leo hugs Greg and everything like that. So it seems like it's gonna be a interesting episode. I'm kind of curious. Why do people not like um why do people not like Leo Stark? I was gonna call him Tony Stark. Why do people not like Leo for? Like I've only seen him a total of three, maybe four times. Once on Beyond Salem. I think I might have saw him on Salem maybe once. I don't remember. But I don't know what is that's about him that people just don't like. Um, and he also seems like he's just one of those characters just there for comic relief, which is kind of bad a little bit, you know? I mean, you got people like Anna who now is comic relief, and I was sitting there talking to DC, and he was like, before she got put into that butt of the joke, people took her a little bit more seriously, and that's the same thing with Lucy on GH, and now it's just, oh, look at her, she's there for laughs, and it's all funny and great, and it's like, no. And that was like the same thing with Leo Stark, so I'm sitting there wondering what happened, and when did the writers decide to be like, we don't really like him too much, but we want to keep him around. Why don't we sit there and make him the butt of different jokes? Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll punch him that way. Um, like I am missing something. Oh yeah, Ben and Sierra, my favorite two people. Um, so it's not talking about the possibility of Johnny being, possessed between the erratic behavior, or the events that was going on. When Johnny was at Julie's place, the fire, and him being the one to bringing the cross over, and the fact that the cross kept going upside down. Um, at first, I think Ben was like, "Oh, that's unbelievable! Like, it's unbelievable! It's unbelievable! Are you serious, bro? You literally have Marlena just get possessed, and you're just saying that seems unbelievable." So Ciara plays devil's advocate, and Ciara's like, listen, there may be a logical explanation, and we don't want to sit there and accuse him of something that he's not. We don't want to sit there and tip people off and have a witch hunt or whatever when it may not actually be the case. We need to sit there and be sure. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're gonna sit there and start backtracking now. Long story short, he decided to call Susan Banks. Now, obviously, what they don't know is that Johnny did something to Susan's bank mind to make her just leave and not really say anything. So I doubt she's actually going to be helpful. Um, or she may even sit there and even lead him the wrong way. Who the hell knows? I'm going to be honest. Um, I'm wondering when people. I mean, I'm wondering because obviously this whole possession thing is going to come to an end at some point. The question is when and how long. And that's pretty much all they did was just sit in a room and contemplate. And because it was Valentine's Day, um, they weren't gonna really hear from Susan because she's out with probably Roger. I wonder if we ever gonna sit there and meet this Roger character. Anyway, I feel like that's about it for the most part. So, I feel like I covered all the important stuff. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.